This is Love. It's interesting. It's a very interesting name. I really like it.
I love it.
I don't usually say the word, you know, for me, it's like a sensitive thing to say the word love, but because I know it's the name of the character, it's like, I don't mind it.
I think it's cute.
It's very interesting, though, to be like, hey, love, you know?
Yeah, it's also L-U-V.
Right, it's L-U-V.
Oh, L-U-V.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But still sounds the same, regardless. This is a Scritch and Hiss. Apparently it used to be called the Scritch and Bitch, and
I wish it still was.
I'm just here just because, like, hey, there's more stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta do more stuff, you know?
Big lighting in the events room, it's very obscure. It's almost like putting on a camera filter in real life. It looks really weird. Especially for some of the events like the dance competition, it would just been better to turn those ceiling lights off and just had some spotlights instead.
So sorry, the lights were too intense?
It's not like they were too intense per se, it's just that they made things look weird. Like,
Oh, the main stage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a green filter.
Okay, so actually
Yes.
so I noticed it also when I took a picture of another staffer with Zuka. And actually we are already looking at a solution. I talked to the person that helps us out with the equipment rental, and they have an idea and a solution. So that's already kind of in the works. Yeah, I just need to get with him really early on to make sure like we're not spending like a buttload of money on just the equipment and there goes our budget. So next year he does want to solve that problem.
Could you provide, like, some detail, like, in the simplest
I
form?
wasn't exactly sure what it was, but I think it was like, from what I understood, I'm gonna have to ask him for like how he was planning it, but I think it sounded like. Oh, do you know what?
I don't know.
No?
But I think what we're probably just doing is bringing our own lights, and like we had the color lights, we'd probably be putting in more lighting like that. That would light up the room and shoot to the ceiling rather than having that green and high pressure lighting so much. We will probably be dimmer, but we will not be fighting that color problem very much.
Okay.
Go ahead.
and alternatively, you could use like the spotlights and all the other lights that guys use like during the race and stuff. Like at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, I sort of peeked in there because I was looking around for friends, and I saw that there was one big light in the main area, and that was, subjectively speaking, better than how it normally is.
No, I do agree, and then like I think he did mention the solution that I was listening that I heard, but we will see. I guess I know y'all want to take pictures and video for the like the dance comp and and all that stuff and
also
all
just
that.
to look better.
Excuse me.
And also just for it to look better.
Yeah, and I do agree. Like, I'll definitely work with them and see what we can do. But I think I agree because, like, for me, I do want to, as I said, I do want to participate in the first two games at one point, and I do want to see like good video. I don't want my my German Shepherd to look like a yellow German Shepherd. I agree. Like we already have an idea on how to attack this, and we're gonna see if we can do this.
I have another idea to pose, but it would probably take some more structure on it. I have to talk with my vendor about that. Probably bring the truss and putting lights up on the truss that come down on each side of the building or the hall. That might help with our lighting. We don't know. We'll have to discuss that.
Although, of course, it's definitely worth talking with the hotel in general to find out, or to even just kind of let them know that it was an issue enough that we're looking into some third-party solutions, and just at least informing them and even just asking if they'd even be willing to work with us in any kind of regard.
Yeah.
Also, I have something as well. When I came here, there was, at least for me, there was no clear indication of a map or event schedule. And yes, I appreciate that you guys had the website that provided all of the information, but I know that there are some people here who, enjoy their time here, like myself, that inevitably are devices die, and we're not able to have access. And also, there's little to no mobile data access in the conference room, and even the guest internet does not reach to this area. Yeah, none of the rooms either. And I just think it would be cool if you guys had like physical maps that showed like the specific areas.
Kind of like TFF?
Huh?
Can we
Kinda like
do
TFF?
I suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, I was under the impression that we were going to.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I kept
There was a
asking you
few
this, 'cause I was
posted
like, hey,
around, but
this is-
No, but there's nothing official. No official maps
I
or
mean,
anything.
there,
I thought
there
that
was,
was gonna show up in
Map,
ID.
right?
there's these little stands with the map and schedule every now and then.
But it'd be good if we had like personal maps, because when I went to Anime Matsuri, they had those.
Yeah, I also enjoy paper schedules too.
Yeah, that too. So at least we have a physical map.
We do want to speak
Oops,
up on
sorry.
that, so.
Okay, it was a budgeting issue, which is why we didn't have, we really wanted to have the maps and the schedule, hard copy schedules printed and available. But we didn't have the budget at that moment to get that done. And next year, I have heard from multiple attendees about this concern. So I will make sure that there is more allocation to getting schedules and maps printed and readily available to our congoers.
I think,
Good.
I'll be honest with with the move from over there, we did spend a couple of years over there in the other venue. And we did spend a little, we did build up a bit of a cushion for us. But the move here was a little bit more expensive than what we thought.
Yeah, well, actually.
Okay, a little, I think it's just maybe understating it.
I see.
But I think it was, in the end, I think it's worth it for y'all. Like, it is just an investment for y'all, for like, this is y'all's con. This is something that, like, y'all need to have fun, feel safe, make sure, y'all wanna feel like everything is secure. And I don't think of it as, it's like, we needed to do that. And we knew that if we spent another year there, y'all would lose faith in us. So that's why it's like, we did have some missing items, but I think the venue was the number one thing that we wanted to show y'all. Like, we were listening to y'all, we wanted to give y'all this because this is what y'all asked for.
Sweet.
And to add to that, of course, with this being our first year in a new venue, I'm under the impression that they have not hosted an event here like this. I mean, yes, they've hosted some other conventions and events.
The Fiesta Equestria in this hotel. I was here for two of those years.
Yeah.
But regardless, well, in recent years at least, there hasn't been an event quite like this, and as a result, we wanted to make sure that we wanted to make sure that we remained on good terms with the hotel just as much as possible, so that we could have for future years. So.
It is impossible to overstate the importance of having a good relationship with the hotel. Because if you have that, mountains will get up and move out of your way. If you don't, mountains will get up to get into your way.
That's a good way of putting it.
I agree with him. I do think, like, once we build that relationship, we can push for a couple more things, and they will trust us to handle it if anything goes wrong, which they shouldn't. But if people wanna, like, let's say the DJs, they wanna go a little bit louder or something like that, they probably trust us with that. But we just gotta build that reputation with them, saying like, hey, we're working with y'all, we got you, and then they gotta know we got them, and we have to know that they got us.
I have to make the emphasis of this because I'm not sure about who else is like from out of town. I'm not from Houston. I don't necessarily, well, I know, but I don't live here. But I've heard, unfortunately, horror stories with cons and hotels about situations, and they might be apprehensive for us because the reputation that Furry's have, unfortunately. like when people emphasize of wanting to do all of these things and whatnot, like they said, I am 100% backing them on this. We do have to be mindful about building those relationships. That's not just with staff, but also attendees. And when everybody's working together and actually like, you know, working towards the common goal, we can also make a lot of bigger changes, which I hope we can.
Cons like ours were a little on the smaller side, but say if you think back to like MFF, for example, like 10 years ago, they are in one of the largest hotels currently inside of Chicago, right? For them to be able to do, they get away with a lot because of the relationship that they have with that hotel they've been in for the last decade.
Okay.
So we want to be able to get ourselves into that same friend zone, the same. If you're, the more buddy we are with a hotel, the more we can do.
That's cool.
These hotels are mostly used to Houston's area conventions of tech, oil and gas, medical, and dental. They don't know they're not used to us, and those guys spend boo-boos of money and do all kinds of crazy stuff. My ticket for some of my tech cons have been over $1,000 comped by another vendor. That's the only reason I've been able to go somewhere, because they're so expensive. But they do like full catering meals, busing, stuff like that. It's crazy. And we're barely getting that kind of level of stuff with paying our local venues.
Yeah, for personal experience, you can pay upwards of $5,000–7,000 for a medical industrial convention, and they will do your everything.
So something that I learned from other cons is to foster a good reputation from the attendees for the hotel staff is of course the clean room contest, where you have like you do a little prize or something from the hotel or from the convention, where the maids or workers of each floor rate each room, and then the hotel decides like who had the cleanest room or had the most respect for the staff or such like of the hotel. This, I think, that would also foster reputation from the attendees to the hotel staff. Which I did. I did stop to the front desk a couple times, and just generally talked with the front desk when they looked bored. So, because some of them were like, "What's going on?" So, and then sometimes they're like, cool stuff, but they were curious, but no one came up to them and really told them what was going on much. They're like, okay, whatever, but more information. So maybe prepare a like maybe a little pamphlet or something to give to the hotel for their employees, both maids and front desk staff, to what to expect. Maybe
there is a little thing. There were a couple of issues with some of the stuff that I kind of saw, and I think I already kind of signaled for us to have a talk with them, and that's something that we can definitely bring up. Like, I kind of do feel like the staff should. I think it would help them also, and also help us if the staff kind of got into the furry con, whether they wore ears or a tail or something like that. Like, it might not mean much to like if someone that's been to like, let's say like 10-20 cons, you know what I mean? But like someone that's brand new, this is their first con, they're just checking into the room. It might like make it like actually like really decent convention experience, just checking in. But I think in general, like I do think that we need to address a couple of things. The relationship.
So I'll talk to you about that.
Okay.
Just talking socially with a lot of the people that had rooms here, there was some a big chunk of rooms that had facility issues on them.
That's one thing. I had one.
Ooh.
I had one. Yeah.
I had 3.
I had
7? Dang.
I think I just want to
Mostly air conditioners.
I think in general, like in short, like we're gonna talk to them and see what can be done. I do agree. It's kind of like the room at times. If I got into shoot at that time, it would have been like heck. It just like it was hot, it was uncomfortable, and if I would have gotten into it would have been like difficult. So I do like to cool down the room for when I'm gonna get into, because when I get back I just want to like pass out on the floor, because that is you just basically walked around in like a carpet and you just want to cool off.
So I also know when walking on some of the floors, especially the top floor, I noticed some poor maintenance practices on leaks and bad leak repairs, and also some different maintenance issues that just the hotel did not do very well on.
I know I know we talked about. I know I have some other people over here that may want to say something. Are you okay like sending it to me in private, like all the maintenance stuff?
Oh yeah, the maintenance stuff, yeah, I'll go get it. But the other big one I had was, why did y'all schedule right over a Furry Beach Blast, which has been running for 15 years?
Furry Beach Blast? What's that?
So I'm gonna say this. This is that's a local event.
Oh.
Local and regional, yeah.
So this, I'll let you know right now. We've been in talks. We've been in talks about the contract since November. So, while we would like to, like, there's a certain, I guess what we're looking at is what events we're going over is conventions. Just because conventions will affect our, basically our attendance or sales. I don't like to think about it as kind of like we're competing with them, but in some essence we are, because if we, like, let's say if we put it the same weekend as like BLFC or MFF or something like that, we will suffer because everyone wants to go to MFF, everyone wants to go to AC.
We're gonna even have staff because they take
right. Staff will want to go to those things, and it's just like unfortunately, like we kind of have to schedule according to what the venue has, and according to like, and according to what like other conventions are around us.
Okay.
We can't do really late June because of Anthrocon. It seems like just about every year they're gonna hit the July 4th weekend. And then anything before that, it used to be BLFC, but now it's FWA, I believe. FWA and BLFC maybe. I'm not sure if they're gonna switch back. I don't know their plans, but FWA and BLFC are the ones before us. So we have to hit somewhere in the middle just to make sure we have our staff, we have people, we have our vendors, right?
That's the big one.
Like,
my vendors all caught up in Colorado doing something. I think it's stereo.
And I don't know if you were here last year, but that was actually one of the complaints we got, because there was like one con right after the other, after the other. And they were like, is it a possibility, depending on the dates, are we able to schedule it further out so people have time to not only financially recover, but also energy recover and everything else.
And this this isn't a complaint, but this is a compliment. I'm so glad that you guys actually picked this weekend, because my next convention is VidCon, and I'm going to Los Angeles. So this is like a perfect, progression of conventions. So this is actually a really great day.
But as I said, like we, as far as local events, we can't juggle, between them just because there's so many of them. I see all the events in Houston that are going on.
I run the meetup.com page for Houston area, and I'm constantly just throwing stuff in there because people are setting stuff up last minute. So there's some stuff I can't even put on there because they're like, hey, this week we're gonna go bowling at such and such spot. Okay, that's a new group that's decided to do that. There's some group that say, hey, we're gonna go to sushi. well, I can't post those, it's crazy. That this area, since it got warm and COVID has kind of lessened as an effect, we have lots of crazy needs going on. It's
So,
driving me nuts.
yeah, in essence,
That's
we
so
just like, we
water.
can't look at local events to kind of like restrict us from the dates, but we need to look at convention dates because those will hurt us more than just the local meeting.
Because I was concerned about also what y'all can do to help with the reputation, because just asking around the normal local meets, there's up and down opinions about the con, and also like let's see. All right.
Honestly, you were here, you were here.
Yeah, I was here.
Yeah, it's like, you were here, you got to see firsthand, what we do,
Mhm.
I don't know if you're wanting to believe what others are saying, and you're attending, but you're not seeing it, I think you need to make that judgment call on yourself.
Mhm.
It's if people are saying that, oh, night shift is mean, and then you come up to me. That's an example. It's an example. If they're saying oh, night shift is mean, and then you talk to me for 3 days straight, and I was never mean to you. You just need to come up and say and then you just need to come up and say well, maybe they're not. Maybe they saw something else that I'm saying that I didn't see. He wasn't mean to me. I think that's kind of you're at that point. You need to see, you saw what we're doing. You need to.
I've danced down this road before.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of experience with Fiesta.
Mhm.
I've had experience with MFF and TTFC and MFM, and the list goes on. And if you're, the question, if I understood what you were asking is there anything that we can do about people, talking about us? And the answer is no. People are going to talk.
The local reputation, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, that's what I mean. People are going to talk. There are
Every
people that are
time.
local to Dallas that say that Fiesta is garbage.
Mhm.
There are people that are local to Chicago who wouldn't touch MFF with a 10-foot pole. Someone else's 10-foot pole. No matter who you are, no matter who you are, and this isn't even just conventions, this is life. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, somebody isn't gonna like it. And all we can do is try to put on the best experience we have and let the results speak for themselves.
Right.
And if some people are mad about that, they're just gonna have to be mad.
I have something bad on
Kimmy,
that.
real quick, and then I want to get to.
As a content creator, I'm faced with the adversity of having to deal with people not liking what I do. If I let every single person, because I have people who are oh, well, they said they do this, so, but if I let all of that stuff build up on me, it's not gonna stop me. I'm gonna keep doing what I love. We're gonna keep giving you all the experiences of a lifetime and doing everything in our power to do so. That's what we're gonna do.
It's pretty good.
People go out of their way to say bad about you.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah,
They're not gonna come up and say, you did a great job, Kimmy, thanks for your help.
Yeah.
The very few people will. You have to actually go out and say you appreciate things. I have several times with many of the people I've worked with here.
And I just want to say one more thing, if we weren't doing such a good job, we wouldn't have a yearly 25% increase of attendees from last year.
I have something about that though.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
For the first time.
I'm thinking that was mostly because shift from Greenspoint to a different area.
We did that exactly. Hey, we did that expressly in response to y'all. We listened to y'all.
Oh, not only that, without fail, every single person that I met last year showed up.
Yeah, we were all here.
Every single person.
Yeah,
And that's another big way that you judge your success. Not
Yeah.
just who shows up, who comes back.
Yeah.
Who shows up and says, I liked this, I want more.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get to.
Sorry,
Yeah,
go
then
ahead.
get to. Yes.
Oh, so there were two things that came up. I guess I'll go and start with the less story into more dialogue. In relation to what we were just talking about, there it's sometimes constructive, like, how do I describe it? I'm sorry, I'm really bad at articulating things.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got this, take your time.
So there is sometimes going to be things in the negative commentary that's constructive. So you have to listen to it, but you also have to rightfully determine whether or not there is any constructive value in the negativity, and if there isn't any, then you have to just let roll through that. So yeah, you have to listen to it, but then you have to determine whether or not you can get something to that, or if it's just flawed, false, wrong, just pure hatred for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The second thing I want to mention was piggybacking on something that Keith said. So, COVID, right?
What was that?
COVID.
COVID,
Yeah.
oh.
You did mention that was dying down. Apparently,
Oh.
the CDC declared that the pandemic is over.
No.
No, it's not.
Oh.
The reason why fewer people
Oh,
are
so
dying is
that-
because
Oh.
the Delta variant
Okay.
was going to get killed.
Oh.
You know, a lot of people didn't wear masks and killed a lot of people.
Mhm.
And now we've killed all of them, so the rest of us survived.
I thought that just with the vaccines and everything that.
That's
With
part
half
of
the
it.
population's not wanting vaccines, people still died.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of insurance companies considering whether or not the unvaccinated were actually committing suicide. It has not really died down in the way that we wanted it to, but it died down because fewer people died.
It is.
It is currently classified as an endemic.
So, essentially, like what I guess, are you asking our responses for next year?
Sure, yeah.
Sorta, yes? Okay.
Don't see my thing, but-
Our responses for next year, honestly, I think,
Yeah, we'll need, yeah, I mean, we're talking a year out, we'll have to reevaluate.
To be honest, the masking thing is phenomenally helpful for everything else as well. I mean, how many of you have gone home every year, the last few years, and really got sick from just something else? From a
Yeah,
cold?
just it helps with lawn crud.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only, on average, I look at logistics a lot whenever we end. For what I've seen, like with we may look like we're kind of germaphobes and we're kind of crazy, but we've had consecutively no more than one person each year leaving this con of COVID. So what does that tell you?
It's effective.
It works.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah.
In addition, the demographic of people that go to these kinds of conventions, anime conventions, furry conventions, gaming conventions, they're the kind of people that would have stayed away from people in the first place. So when they're with other people, we need to make an even greater effort to keep them safe.
That's our point.
Yeah.
I think the most salient point here is that the next convention is probably going to be a good year out, and if you paid attention while COVID was in its throes, when you look at the situation 3 months, like you look at the present situation, and you look at it 3 months down the line, they look completely different. I think that anything we say now is just, it's a guess. I think that the only way to do
Which
this
is why I said we'll have to reevaluate.
Yeah.
We're watching it like they're watching the weather.
Yeah.
So it's.
I actually,
I'll just say
before I
it.
get to you, and then I'll get to you. I actually work for Baylor College of Medicine, and every week the president for Baylor College of Medicine actually just kind of puts out a video, and he's still like, I think in one video he mentioned like everyone is no longer reporting COVID, but he is making it his mission to keep reporting. Actually, his videos are public. They're on YouTube. But he's still going on with it, and if need be, I worked there when I first started working in laboratories, and I made a couple of connections, and now I'm back. I'm making a couple more connections, and I can ask some researchers like, hey, what's going on? What's this? It's just like I do have that information at like my fingertips, but it's just I need to ask them also, which if I could, and I probably will for the for this next convention. But as I said, whatever I asked them today, if I ask them tomorrow, they may not have the same answer in about 6 months, or maybe even like close to convention time. So I think as we progress and we get closer to the next convention, I will ask them for their help again, and ask them for their help and see what's going on. Before we go on.
So I am, I'm wonderful. I am the critter resources and personnel management person. One of the things I also have to emphasize is that for everyone else, usually how it's said is like you don't really get the severity of it until it personally affects you, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So for me, most of the members around me are wearing a mask because I'm immunocompromised. So we also have Kim, who is also immunocompromised, and Draco.
Could you elaborate what that means?
Huh?
I don't know.
My experience, our immune system is not up to. Essentially, there's something with our immune system that keeps us from processing enzymes and bacteria the same way as somebody who has a regular functioning immune system.
Their immune systems are incapable of having the same level of proper immunity that the rest of us do.
Yeah, basically making them more prone to infections like COVID. So,
and along with asthmatics as well, we have a higher chance because of our lungs not working, as COVID greatly affects your breathing, and it can stop it entirely because you will not be able to. Your esophagus will pretty much just say no.
And to kind of emphasize also as well, while I do understand, like I literally do read whenever people are saying, we shouldn't have code posture or things of that nature. Take into consideration, you have at least like 1, 2, 3 of us and 4 of us just out of here. We have to interact with y'all on a regular basis. What a lot of people were having comments on my interactions with, I was around someone who didn't have on a mask, I had to step back. Because for me personally, if I get sick, I have a lower chance of actually surviving it, even with me having, my vaccine shots and my boosters. And also, if you have vendors who have asked, can we have some sort of protection safety for them, even our staff, you have to take those things into consideration. If we don't have those protections in place, it sometimes can potentially come off as like rude, or we don't care about the feedback that's being given. And we also need the ability for people to be able to help us, because we already have low staff numbers, but we're trying to do the best that we can to be able to be here for y'all and give you a better experience. So me personally, I have to ask people be understanding about that, even though I know some people don't like it. It's one of those things that helps us to be able to help you. Like they said, we don't know what the policy is going to be next year. I had to end up personally myself leaving a lot of conventions because of the fact it was not healthily safe for me to be there. And cons I've been helping for almost a decade, because situations change. So what I tend to ask people is to have sympathy and understanding that not everybody's situation is the same. I know it's annoying for a lot of people because they're like, mask, but also be understanding and considerate that other people's circumstances are a little different. And if for any reason you felt like somebody was being mean when they were asking you to put on your mask or how they came off, please tell us. Because that's not supposed to be something that's happening. Gentle reminders, yes, but we want to just make sure people are safe.
Safety and health is one of our biggest, one of our biggest things.
And for a community, especially for furries, at least from my understanding, a lot of us are actually we are
we're happy handsy though.
We just want to make sure y'all are safe.
So I don't think I've ever done this before in any YouTube video, but this is an editor's note. My GoPro died at that perfect moment when that last sentence was finished, and there was more stuff that was said, but I think it enough footage to let everybody know, especially the board of directors of the convention, that they did a really great job and they picked a really great venue, and everything that they did, whatever was in their control, whatever they were able to do, was perfect. Everything just came out probably the way that they intended it, as best as they were able to deliver it, and hope there could be some, little improvements here and there for the most part. And that is the reason as to why at times the color correction seemed to be non-existent. It's because the lights in the conference room were artificially changing the way in which the camera was receiving light. So that, and apparently I was not the only one, which kind of relieved me, but also made me realize that I wasn't the only one who was suffering from that. And as of right now, it is literally 4 minutes after 4:20 in the morning, and that's how serious I'm about getting this thing edited and put together before LA. And another thing is that, unlike my last documentary, I'm not making this as elaborate in terms of editing. I'm just keeping everything straightforward and simple, but nonetheless still doing my best to provide to you what I consider to be the more exciting parts of my time and during parts of my day that I thought were exciting enough to show to you guys. So hope you all enjoyed my documentary, and hope you enjoyed this video too, this little extra content that I happened to record, and thought maybe if I added this to the original video that it would make it way longer. And after cutting down about 2 hours of content, it all went back to 53 minutes of everything convention related, and then the additional content that you've just seen right now, which is actually a lot lower than I think my footage from last year. So you could say I've done some changes here and there. So anyways, hope you guys have a great day. That's all I gotta say.